Okay, we are live. I'm just going to make sure that the audio is working before we get started.
I can hear you, so that's good.
All right. No echo, always good for those joining from last night. All right. I am excited. We are talking to Laurissa from Assistantly Healthcare VA today. Thanks again for joining us, Laurissa.
No worry. Happy to be here.
Now,
I love meeting new people, so that's good.
Exactly. If you are joining us live, please say hi. It's always good to feel like we're talking to people. So let us know where you're tuning in from. And if you are catching us up on the replay, #replay, and feel free to ask any questions along the way. I have personally had the pleasure of supporting Laurissa since I think it was June this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she joined us inside of VA Mastery and has since upgraded into the mastermind and is in a really, really incredible business position. So becoming fully booked within 10 weeks of launching. And I really wanted to take this opportunity to share more about Laurissa's story so that you can really get an insight into the life of a VA. And hopefully it sort of inspires you to then take action and start really considering if this is the right career move for you. So I can see a couple of eyeballs watching us on the live stream. So we'll get started then. Laurissa, if you just want to tell us a little bit about you and your VA business.
Yeah, sure. So I have about 17 years-ish experience within customer service and admin. I previously worked for a virtual reception business, which had a lot of allied health clients. So I found that very interesting part of that job. I also have a chronic illness called antiphospholipid syndrome, and going through all of that stuff has really sort of opened my mind up to everything healthcare. I'm very, very passionate about healthcare. I've been through a lot of terrible things myself, so I feel like that's kind of why I relate to it well, I think.
Yeah.
And I decided after 9 years at my job that I wanted to go out on my own. And that's where Assistantly was born. I niched into healthcare pretty quickly because I knew that's where I wanted to go. So it wasn't really a hard choice. But I really, really enjoy assisting my clients with their calendars and patients and patient care and all of that as well. So, yeah.
Awesome. And we're going to touch on sort of your business in a whole and the strategies that you use to start working with your clients in a minute. But, we're sort of talking on before we went live about, your biggest fears and the challenges that you found before getting started. So talk us through what you went through there.
I went through initially a lot of self-doubt, and Ash will know I panicked in 3 weeks in. I was thinking, what am I doing wrong? Why have I not got any clients yet? Like, I don't understand where I'm going wrong. And was contemplating applying for normal jobs again, which I really didn't want to do. I think my strategy from there was just to stay consistent with the area that I was trying to look for clients. But yeah, initially it was the fear of failing, imposter syndrome. I actually still have imposter syndrome to this day, every day. So That's nothing that hasn't gone away. But yeah, I definitely had, I think, unrealistic expectations from when I initially first started. I thought I'd get, 2 clients in the first week or two. And it doesn't work like that. It is a little bit more work involved in it. It's not just instant like that. So, but yeah, as I said, still have that imposter fear every day, but it gets easier as you go in further and you become more experienced. And yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like that imposter syndrome, as you said, like it slightly goes away as you keep taking action and being consistent and doing all of the things, but it is sort of sometimes still there, but it's still just pushing through that. And knowing that there is going to be opportunities on the other side of that, and knowing that you are worthy to do the work that you really enjoy in the VA industry as well.
I have to remind myself of that every day still. So reminding myself that it's okay, and it's okay to feel scared, because feeling scared means that you actually care. So it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. That's right. And there's a lot of work out there in the allied health space as well. Like there are quite a few VAs that I've noticed that have niched into like NDIS or different areas of healthcare. I've worked with another client who also supported allied health professionals, speeches. Like there's such a variety, but there is work out there for everybody. And that's what I really love about the VA industry, is that it is so supportive and really collaborative as well. Have you noticed that too?
Yeah, yep. I think in my notes that I was writing down for this chat, the one thing that I think has really, really helped, or it's been a few things, but one of the main things is the community support. I feel like everybody is pretty much all there for everyone. It's always easy to have a conversation with another VA and bounce ideas off them. It doesn't feel competitive, and that support I think is necessary because we're working in our own businesses, we're working remotely from home. It can get a little bit lonely. I know some people struggle with that. So having that connection and that community, I think, is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we mentioned that you became fully booked within 10 weeks after that, and, you know, a few weeks there of freaking out that it's all going to fail and what have I done?
Yeah.
So talk us through the main strategy that you use. Was it Instagram marketing?
Yeah. So everybody, including my husband, was saying to me, you need to get like more on LinkedIn. And I actually hate LinkedIn. I don't know why. I think it's because it's clunky, and I don't know. To me, it's not very aesthetically pleasing to me. So I just hate it. I don't like using it. And I said to him, no, that's not where I don't want to. I don't want to have too many things going on too many different platforms because it gets too hard. So that's where I stuck to Instagram, and all of my clients have been from Instagram. And there was I was doing obviously marketing, so boosting ads and stuff like that. And basically, sounds a little creepy, but just following every single allied healthcare person, business, everything that I could find that I could see. And then from there, posting a lot of content. I think the main thing is especially with Instagram, mainly because that's where my main experience is, you got to stay consistent. So if you've got to keep
Mm.
posting for people to still see your stuff every day. But from there, I actually did what I actually feel more comfortable with, kind of like cold messaging allied health professionals, just saying, hi, this is me, I'm doing this. Feel free to book in a discovery call. And I'm not one for telephone marketing. So cold calling I've never been comfortable with that.
No.
But it's a lot easier doing it through a message because there's no, like, if they don't want to respond, they just don't respond. It doesn't hurt like when somebody hangs up on you.
Yeah.
But that's how I engaged with all my clients, except for one. One was a word of mouth from somebody else I got on Instagram. But yeah, there's definitely heaps of allied health professionals on Instagram because I think of the, social media time. That's where they post all their information about, mental health and all of that. So yeah, it's been great for me. My husband still says to me, you need to get more active on LinkedIn. I'm like, well, no, because it's working for me how it is. So why would I
I'm fully
complicate it
booked. I
anymore?
don't need
Yeah,
to.
yeah. So, but I probably shouldn't take it for granted because as time goes on, social media will probably change again, and
Yes.
from there we'll have to adjust. But it is what it is now. So yeah,
It's working. I think with Instagram as well, like social media in itself, there's just so much noise. There's so many things going on, updates, algorithm changes, all of the things. And you hit the nail on the head when it comes to consistency rather than just posting for the sake of posting or posting for 2 weeks, expecting that immediate gratification, reaching out to people for 2 weeks, not hearing anything, then giving up, just remaining consistent, knowing that that is what is going to move the needle forward and progress you further. And that's something that I see a lot in the VA space when people are looking at getting started is, yes, that sort of the expectations are really high at the beginning, but
yeah.
the perfect example, as we mentioned offline, where you just kept going, you were really persistent and committed, and it gave you the dream outcome, right? How many retainers do you have now?
I have 7 now. One of them, they're only, well, I say they're only, but they're like averaging about 5 hours a week. But some weeks I don't do any work for them. Other next weeks I'll do, 10 hours or whatever. So it is scattery, but the retainer I actually don't have any clients on an hour like deal or anything like that. I've got all packages because that's what
Really good.
I need to be able to feel safe within income wise, because like that's what we're doing it for. And it really isn't it money.
Yes.
So I feel
Yes.
like I have to do that. And that's how I've approached it from the beginning to continue to do that with clients. So,
and with the allied health, you know, you mentioned that there's a lot of allied health professionals. And again, like, you know, there's speechies, there's OTs, like the list goes on. With you doing the following them, and then I'm assuming you would be engaging in their content, then going into the DMs, how was were they receptive of that? Would they like begin, you know, come back to you with conversation? Would you
honestly,
find?
most of them have. I've had some really good conversations with other allied health professionals on Instagram that aren't actually my client. I don't think I've really had any that haven't like responded. I think because most of them know as well that they need to be active as well. So I haven't had an experience where I've had any run-ins or anything like that. They've all been really receptive, and I actually find doing it the way I've done it to be really good, and it actually suits my personality to do it that way. So it always felt natural to me. So
yeah. And that's the important part. Like, there are so many different strategies that you can use. It's not like a one size fits all, you must do this. It's feeling into what feels good for you and trying a few things, you know, trial and error as well.
exactly.
And I think I used yourself as an example in last night's session, hopefully you don't mind, where it was kind of like, you know, you recently had one of those retainers drop off and you were able to replace those hours because you have built connections whilst you were fully booked as well. Like, just because you're fully booked doesn't mean
that's initially I was unsure, like, do I keep posting if I'm fully booked? But then I'm like, of course, because things change, things happen. And to make sure that people still know that you're there, you have to be engaging and you have to be, you know, nurturing that as well. So that was a pretty quick decision of mine that, yes, I still want to post. I still want to advertise stuff. And then if anyone reaches out to me, then that's great. And yes, it did work out well with the retainer client finishing up with me because she hired somebody locally. It was going to be better for her business to do that. But then I've got 2 other clients to replace those hours with her. So it's worked out really well.
And was that through Instagram, those 2 clients? Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Power of Instagram and social media, right?
Yeah, I know. I feel like I don't want to ever take it for granted because it has worked so well for me. I know that everybody's experiences are different though, so it may not work for other people. It's not a guaranteed way to do it, but yeah, it's just worked out for me, which is good because I hate LinkedIn. So I'm like, I don't want to have to revert to that if I have to, but yeah.
Well, in last night's call where we really sort of talked about in the challenge, and if you are watching this and you haven't joined the challenge, you can still access the replays. So just let me know, comment challenge, and I can shoot you through the link. But on the final night, we really dived into all different strategies that you can be using. And one is Instagram marketing. The others, you know, there's Facebook communities, there's local communities, there's offline marketing, there's personal network, there's professional network, there's in-person online events. There's so many different ways that you keep going out there and gaining clients, but it's just finding the one that feels right for you. And I feel like you found that with Instagram, which is amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think I remember you saying originally, you know, don't try not to get like too overwhelmed with too many different platforms. I feel like that's something that you said initially, and that kind of stuck with me because I'm like, if I have too much happening, it's kind of overwhelmed me. So I'm like, I'll stick with the one, and luckily enough, it worked out. So yeah.
And Stace is on with us. Your consistency on the gram is amazing.
Was that Stacey, was it?
Yeah. All right. So on hindsight, would you have changed anything about the way that you launched or the way that you put yourself out there in those early days?
Maybe because that self-doubt I went through at the beginning was overwhelming. Like, I was panicking, I was stressing, I was saying to my husband, I don't know, I'm gonna have to do something else. Like, that overtook initially any of the positive side of it. So I guess maybe not stressing about, if I could do it again, I would not stress because it worked out okay. But I think that hindsight's a great thing, isn't it? But
it is.
Yeah, definitely was very, very stressed initially.
But
And
I think that
panicked.
was sort of the great thing about like VA Mastery, having that community of people that are literally in their trenches doing the same thing. Like there's something
Yeah.
comforting knowing that you're not the only one going
I've
through it.
had, yeah, many conversations with the girls that were in the VA Mastery group that when I started, and they were all having the similar sort of situations. And, I'd reach out and be like, how's it going? Do you, can I help? Can you help? Like, what do we do? We offer support to each other. So that really did help, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So you are a current client of mine. You were inside VA Mastery, obviously upgraded into the mastermind now. But what helped you the most when you were inside VA Mastery, or what was sort of your biggest takeaway from being part of the program?
Um, the, there's a few. Definitely the support that you've always given. I've always found that you are like everybody's hype girl. So you're always making you feel positive and encouraging you and motivation and all of that. Also the community, the women that I've met along the way, and in obviously VA mastery as well. And one of the big things that I think that have really helped me is all your resources that were in the course, because I still use them to this day.
Mm.
I've obviously gone through and tweaked them because that's another thing. You're constantly learning and developing and changing things as you're going. But they were so, so helpful. I don't know what I would have done without all those resources, to be honest. So thank you.
Love it. Love it. Um, and what I do also really enjoy about the VA Mastery community is like the coaching calls and things like that as well,
Oh,
where you
yes,
can get
that
that
too.
sort of um, on-demand support, if that makes
Mm,
sense. When you have something coming up, you can be jumping on those calls or inside the community as well. But thank you so
yeah,
much for sharing that. I love that.
that's okay.
So we've
I
obviously
definitely,
got,
yeah, loved the coaching course because it's not only about like getting your advice. It was always about your motivation and support. So that's where that hype girl thing comes in, I think. Yeah.
Hype girl, love it. And we've got a lot of ladies that are watching the live stream that are potentially thinking about taking this step, stepping outside of their comfort zone and becoming a virtual assistant. What is a piece of advice that you would give someone looking at getting started?
The stepping outside of your comfort zone is something that you have to do, succeed. So, and it's scary, but it'll work out. If you just be patient, don't stress out like I did. But definitely, if you've got that support, the community support is very, very important. But everything that I've learned along the way and all of the resources that I've gained along the way, all of that is just invaluable to be able to help you grow the business. I think that, as I said, my imposter syndrome I still have every day, but it does get easier. I think self-doubt is a massive one. As I said, I felt that massively. So be kind to yourself, I think, and just be aware that it's not an instant thing, that instant gratification that sometimes it is. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that it's worked like instantly for them, but
Mhm.
you just don't give up, I think. It is hard work running your own business as well. I obviously never having run my own business before, did not realize exactly how much work is involved in it. So it's not like, oh yes, it's great. I own my own business. I can do whatever I want. If you want to be successful, it's a lot of work. But
Yes.
it's good because it's rewarding because it's for yourself and it's not for somebody else. You're doing it for yourself. So it's rewarding, which I think is the best part of it, definitely.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like you get to do it on your own terms, and you get to be building your dream, not somebody else's.
Correct. Yeah,
Um,
that's a very, very good feeling. Definitely.
yeah. But yes, there is work. It's not as simple as just getting set up, launching, gaining clients. You need to then serve those clients, nurture those clients, and still consistently grow the business in the background as well. But you're right, it
Definitely.
is hugely, hugely rewarding when you
Yeah,
get to that stage. Oh, I
definitely.
love this
Yeah.
conversation. So, look, tell us how we can connect with you moving forward. You're obviously on the gram, that's sort of where your main platform is. Let us know your handles. I'll drop them in the comments for the ladies to connect with you as well.
I would definitely say Instagram because that is where I spend most of my time. which I think you've popped my handle. It's just at assistantly.healthcare.va, I think.
Yeah.
Very long one.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did that. But anyway, my
It's a
husband said to
great
me, it's a
name.
bit long, isn't it? And I'm like, but I can't change it now. I like it now. So
It's a great name. All right, I'm going to pop those the links in here as well. And if any ladies do have any questions for myself, for Laurissa, if you are watching this on the replay, pop them in here. Laurissa is part of the Startup VA community, so just tag her in if you do want to have a chat with her or anything like that, and she's more than happy and able to do that.
as I said, the community is so important. So I'm always up for a chat. So you can message me, tag me and stuff. That's fine. So I'm good with that.
Yeah. Or on the gram. Go check her out on Instagram as well. Well, thank you so much, Laurissa. Really appreciate you coming on and sharing your experience. And I'm sure, you know, the self-doubt, the imposter syndrome, some of those things that you have spoken about, I'm sure that people are feeling that too. So, you know, hearing it from somebody that's in the trenches, that's on the other side, that's a couple of steps ahead and has created success, I feel like that is the reason why we wanted to bring you on today, you know, share your story and that it is possible for them as well, right?
It is. It really is. As I said, it's hard work, but yeah, it's definitely possible, definitely doable.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, love. I will see you in the mastermind soon. Bye.
No worries. Bye, everyone.
Bye.